Hi, welcome to the 8th episode of A Little Passionate. I'm your host, Brittany, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here. On today's episode, I am chatting with my friend Terry of Paradise Point, and she shares about her love of decorating, especially for Christmas. And my hope is that you'll be able to take away a few ideas to add some holiday flair to your home. Let's dive in. Well, I am so excited to finally have my friend Terry on my podcast. Welcome, Terry.
Hello.
We are going to be talking about all things Christmas. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a super fun episode, and I know that you are like notorious for going all out for Christmas.
All of the things. All the
So
things.
I'm pumped. And I love to seeing you share about just, things that you and your family do for the holidays and things like that. So we'll get into that. But before we get started, what is something that you are loving right now? It can be anything.
Okay, so as you can see behind me, I have my tree.
Yes.
So this one is in my office, and this is my first year having this office set up. So I'm excited to do all things pink. Typically,
I love it.
I don't do all things pink because I have a husband,
Yep.
and my kids don't, my son probably doesn't enjoy pink. So anyway, I always had like a little bit of pink, but I'm excited to go all out with pink decor in my office. I haven't fully decorated it yet, so I can't share the whole office with you, but I did start on my tree. So
That's
yeah, so
awesome. Well,
excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Well, so that brings me to ask, what inspired just your overall passion that you have for decorating?
So it started as a kid. I've always loved Christmas, and it really wasn't about the decorations. When I was younger, when you're a kid, you do not care about decorations. It was all about the traditions, spending time with family, eating good food. Obviously, when you're a kid, you love presents, I remember when I was little, one of my favorite memories was a yearly thing where my brother and I would wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you want to run in there and see what Santa brought you. And my mom she knew we were going to do that. And so she loved to put out one thing for each of us that wasn't wrapped. So it was like this little extra treat that we got. So we knew, and at the time we thought it was Santa, but yeah, we looked forward to that one thing, that one gift that wasn't wrapped. So I don't know. It started when I was a kid. And then as I got older, it kind of transitioned a little bit more into the decor side too. I started decorating for my granny, and as she got older and wasn't able to decorate on her own, so I started helping her, and it just kind of grew from there. It started out with just one tree, and two trees, and now I have 9 full-size trees in my house. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's just kind of grown over the years, I would say.
Yeah, I was definitely going to ask how many trees you have. So you said you have 9 full-size trees? That's
9
incredible.
full-size trees, yeah.
So when do you put your Christmas trees up?
Truth?
Yeah, truth. I put mine up on Halloween.
Okay, well, so I actually started bringing in the totes on October 1st.
Wow.
I will say, I do not leave out fall.
Yep.
I don't have anything against Halloween. I love Halloween decor, but because I decorate so early, I don't really have time for it. So I start decorating for fall in August, and then I have August and September for my pumpkins and all the things. So
Yeah.
October 1st.
That's amazing. Well, and it makes sense too, because I know that you have a YouTube channel, Paradise Point. So to be able to have content, you got to work ahead.
You do.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's like I had actually just recorded an episode that I'm going to be coming out with, and it's on gratitude. And in that episode, I was talking about how I feel like every single year my Christmas tree comes out sooner and sooner. And I just like, I love it. It just makes me happy. I haven't
Yeah.
decorated it yet, but I just like the twinkle for now.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'll
the
I'll
lights.
add to it, but yeah, it's
Yes.
just so pretty. So the question that I have too, I know that you mentioned decorating for your granny, but how has your family just inspired how you decorate for the holidays?
Well, when my kids were younger, it was all about seeing that little sparkle in their eye when they saw the lights and all the things. It's been a little bit more difficult as they've gotten older, trying to bring that joy out of them. But I will tell you, my son, who is 20,
I still can't believe he's
kept his
20.
tree up year round. So
Wow.
last February, I went in his room to take out the tree, and he's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" I was like, "Well, it's February. I'm taking your tree out." And he's like, "No, you're not." And I was like, I was just melted my heart. And I'm just like, okay. So they may not express it, but
Mhm.
I know it's there. They love it. And I know that as they get older, they're going to, reflect back on that and bring a little bit of that into their own family. So, and one interesting thing, when my husband and I met on our first date, we actually talked about our Christmas tree. Our first date, we
Wow.
decided that our Christmas tree would have colored lights on it. Our main tree, our main living room tree would have
Mhm.
colored lights on it. Because he had always grown up with colored lights. And actually, I did too. Growing up, we
Mhm.
always had colored lights in the living room. Um, but so we compromised. We actually have a tree that changes from white to color. So I can
I
mix it
have
up
seen
and
those.
change it.
Yeah.
But
That's so
yeah,
awesome. Like, I think it's the holidays are such a special time anyway, but you really do have such, like, great memories that are formed even just from, like, ornaments, things
yeah,
that are, passed down over time, and I remember, like, my grandma, she kept everything. So any ornament that we made when we were kids that, my aunt and uncles made, all my cousins, she kept everything, and she would always have them out on her tree, and it just meant so much to her. Things that, like, I would make, like, in kindergarten, she had all that time, and it was just so sweet. So do
yeah.
you
I
have
have.
things like from your kids that you still incorporate?
Oh yeah, all the things. Yes, every ornament they ever made. Some of them I don't even know what they are, and that we kind of laugh about it. It's like I think that's supposed to be a reindeer or whatever. And I still have some ornaments from my childhood. Not all of them, but I do have some. And then my in-laws actually gave me some of my husband's as well. So we have
Oh.
quite a mixture of old ornaments on the tree. And as you know, my mom recently passed away, and I
Mhm.
have some of her ornaments too, and I have a lot of my grannies. So
Yeah.
my tree, my main tree, is full of nothing but memories. There's
Oh,
really
that's
not,
awesome.
you see a lot of trees that are um, aesthetically pleasing, where all
Mhm.
of the ornaments match and all of the ribbon matches. That is not what my living room tree looks like. It's a 12-foot tree full of random, there are pictures on there. I have a mug from Silver Dollar City hanging on the tree. Um, Gift boxes that are from, presents from years past. I mean, it is a tree full of memories, and I love it.
That's so awesome, and it tells so many stories of
Hmm.
just experience, things that, like, each of you have done over time, and those are the memories that your kids are going to carry on as well. So I think that's so beautiful because, yeah, like, you can see those trees that people put on Instagram and they're
Yes,
gorgeous,
they
but
are
then
beautiful.
half the time what I've been seeing too is that a lot of influencers, like, they're not even the ones decorating these trees. They're hiring people to come decorate them, and I'm
Yes.
like, but what about your family? What about
Yes.
decorating the tree together? Like,
Exactly. Where is
I,
Christmas?
Yeah, it just makes me sad. I mean,
I
it's
know.
beautiful, but you miss out
Right.
on just like the fun of, turning on a Christmas movie or turning on Christmas music and, having cookies and decorating a tree together. And I don't
Hmm.
know, that's something that I've always enjoyed that I can't
Yes.
imagine like passing that off to somebody else and paying them to do. It's just
Yes,
strange.
exactly.
So
Yes,
since you
that's been
have,
been my one big thing is like I'm okay if all of my other trees are
Mhm,
matching, or
yeah.
like themed. Like I have in my daughter's room, it's a Grinch tree. That's okay, but like my main tree in the living room is will probably never have a theme.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm glad that you said that because I was actually gonna ask, like, since you have 9 different trees, then, what is that what's your theme like? What does that look like?
Yeah, so my in the kitchen, I have a just a gingerbread theme basically. And it's mostly red and green. So I tried to remove anything with color so that it is aesthetically pleasing in
Mhm,
there. So it is basically just red and green gingerbread. And then I also have in the living room, I have another tree. So actually, when I'm sitting in my recliner, I can see three big trees. I can see the kitchen tree, the living room tree, and the other tree I have in the living room, which is my granny's tree. So I have all of her ornaments on that
mm,
tree, and she loved red birds or cardinals. And so
mhm,
her tree is all cardinals. And then um, in our bedroom, we love the Grand Teton Yellowstone area. So that tree, the whole room is themed around that. So you've got
aw,
deer and moose and, bear and all the things on that tree. And then my son has a snowman tree. And then the kids' bathroom is a gnome tree, and my daughter's tree obviously is the
mhm.
Grinch. And then right now I don't have a theme in our bathroom tree. It's just got lights on it. I don't know if I'm going to add a theme to it because I don't know. It just doesn't really seem to go with the bathroom. But
Yeah,
and then obviously this tree here is just all candy.
fun,
Yeah,
pink. I
all
love
the
it.
fun.
So, what are some tips that you would give someone who is decorating for Christmas? Maybe they are trying to, maybe have a little bit more than just like maybe they have a memory tree, but maybe they want to do a theme tree like you have, or maybe they want to just create a moment like in their kitchen or in different areas of their home for some like Christmas fun festivities. What would you say to them? What are some tips that you might have?
Well, first, I would say do not go out and buy a whole bunch of brand new items. Wait until after Christmas is over and hit the sales, because last year I went to Hobby Lobby when they hit their 90% off sale,
Ooh,
and I bought $1,200 worth of Christmas stuff for $120.
wow.
So,
90% off sale. I didn't even know they did that.
yes, they do. So that is why my daughter has a Grinch theme in her bedroom, because I hit that 90% off sale and I got all the things, all the wall pieces that are normally really expensive. Like I have this massive Grinch head that's probably 3 by 3 big head that's on her wall that was originally $90 that I got for $9. So
Wow.
yeah. So that would be definitely a,
Yeah.
a big tip, is to don't, because it's really easy, and I do it. I'm guilty of doing it.
Mhm.
Um, it's really easy to want to run out and buy all new things right now, but don't. It's okay to buy a couple things, but don't go out and, spend a ton of money when you can save if you'll wait a couple weeks. And it feels new, the
Mhm.
next Christmas when you open it. Like whenever I was getting out all these decorations, it felt like I went on this massive shopping spree because I was opening all of these new things, and I'd forgotten half the stuff that I bought,
Mhm.
because it's been a year almost. And so, yeah, that would definitely be a big one. But something that I'm so big on is, especially in the YouTube world, is to not get caught up in what's trending.
Mhm.
I can't tell you, I can't even put into words how much that drives me crazy. I have heard so many, and I have friends that are on YouTube, that have their own channels, and I've heard some of them do it, telling people, well, this is not really in anymore, or, whatever. Don't do that. Don't get caught up in that.
Mm-hmm.
Set your own what's trending for you, what makes you happy. What are your family traditions? When you think of Christmas in your mind, what comes to your mind when you think of Christmas? Who cares what Pottery Barn has on their magazine? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
shop
that's
at
good.
Pottery Barn. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's overpriced, and that's not what Christmas is about. So just like definitely focus on what's going to make you happy, what's going to make your kids happy, your family. Don't worry about what's trending on Instagram.
Yeah,
So
that's good. I think everybody needs to hear that in general, because
yes.
I think that we limit ourselves so much by, what other people like deem is like it's cool, or,
Yeah.
trending or whatever. And so we're never going to be satisfied if all we're doing is chasing after, whatever is trending, and trends change.
Yes. Exactly. I will tell you, on my last video that I posted, I got a lot of comments about, thank you so much for including
Mm.
color in your video, because there are so many videos trending right now of neutral Christmas decor. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. But when you think of Christmas, do you think of neutral colors? No. No, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
you're
think
right.
of red and green. I mean,
Mhm.
So I don't know. I was really happy to hear a lot of feedback from the people that follow me on my channel of, thank you for, bringing showing Christmas in your
Yeah.
videos, basically. So,
Yeah, and that it's so true. I think too that, maybe people are trying to, in some way as well, like go back to like those traditions. Like it's nice to see other people like lean into those traditions, because
mhm,
now they're leaning so far away from it, and they're trying to do, like just what's aesthetic, because that's what's cool, that's what's in. But
yeah,
maybe, those traditions are starting to come back because of those feelings that we have, whenever we see just
yeah,
red and green, or whenever we see a tree that actually has like colored lights on it, or those things that we grew up with. Like I
hmm,
remember, what it was like, even just like rolling up to my grandma's house, and she would have just these like beautiful, nativity scenes in her yard, and she had, these candles, and it said Noel on them, and she loved Christmas. And
hmm,
I loved everything about like what her house was for us growing up around that time. And I think that there's a lot of people who they want to experience that again, and I think it
yeah,
comes down to even just like the choices that you make and how you decorate your home. It really does say a lot.
yeah. You know, I've heard so many people say that it's too early to decorate for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
or how do you have so much decor out? I do not care what anybody else thinks.
Yep.
I've been that way since I was a kid. I do not care what anybody else thinks. But especially when it comes to something that brings me so much joy,
Mm-hmm.
so much. And I honestly, when somebody will, it's very rare that it happens on YouTube, because typically if they're watching the video, they're interested in it. So it
Exactly.
doesn't happen that often on YouTube. It's more so with, friends and acquaintances, that,
Mm-hmm.
tend to comment about it. And I actually love that, because it gives me the opportunity to say, you know, if it brings me joy, it's not hurting you,
Mm-hmm.
if it
Yep.
brings me joy, then I'm going to do it.
Yep, don't try to take my joy.
No,
I can't
mm-mm.
stand joy killers. The moment
I
that,
know.
you're so hype on something and they just crush it, it makes me so
Yes.
mad. And it's like, what
Yeah.
did that, like, why?
Why?
What does it accomplish?
It doesn't accomplish anything.
No.
No, so put that tree up as early as you want and decorate, and I love yard inflatables. I'm a big yard inflatable person, like,
Yeah, they're
I
really
love
cool.
them. I think they're so much fun.
They
I
are really fun.
love driving and going and looking at people's houses. Like, I don't know, I just think it's so much fun, and there's this house in Pea Ridge that their entire yard is covered in inflatables, and I'm like, "This is incredible."
Goals, yes.
I took a picture in front of it last year, and it just made me so happy. It's like, no,
Yeah,
like some people even they'll hate on that, like they think it's so tacky. I love it. I think it's
I
fun.
know.
And that's the amazing thing about Christmas is that, every single one of us, we all have things that we love about it. And we all have our own story. We all have, our own traditions, our own memories that we can make. And, we all have a choice in how we celebrate Christmas and what we put out and that even comes down to how early you want to put your tree up or how much decor you have out for Christmas. But one of the things I was going to ask is, do you find yourself like reusing a lot of the items that you have, or like what does that look like for you?
Oh yeah. A lot of it is sentimental. So I
Hmm.
have all of my granny stuff and I use it all. I
Mm.
decorate with all of her stuff. So one of my favorite things is her nativity scene. It is
Yep.
beautiful. It's all white and then I have the wood manger scene to go with it and it's big. It's not a small
Hmm.
nativity scene. Um so yeah, a lot of my decor is sentimental and I will when I start decorating, I will decorate around that. So those pieces that mean the most to me, those are going to come out first. And then I will fill in. I like to buy the fun stuff too, the
Hmm.
cute stuff. But if I don't have the sentimental stuff there, it does not feel like Christmas. So I'm going to reuse that stuff over and over and over. And, you know, it just isn't Christmas without those traditional things.
Yeah, I
So
love that. So then, how many ornaments would you say that you typically use on a tree?
I will tell you, I do not use a ribbon.
Okay.
So a lot of people use ribbon on their trees to help fill it in. I do not. My living room tree, there is not a space on it, not a single space. In fact, I recently went to the craft fair and I got a few new ornaments and I wanted to put them on the tree in the living room and I kept walking around and I was like, well, I literally don't have a space to put a single ornament. Now, I brought the ladder in and climbed up a little higher, I would have probably found a little extra space because when you're trying to decorate 12 feet up, it's hard to cover every little inch of it.
Mhm.
So I would guess on my living room tree alone, there's probably 500 ornaments, maybe more. A
Wow.
lot.
That's amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, I love it. And that's another thing too. Another thing that I just don't follow trends
Mhm.
with is the ribbon. I just there's just something about it. Like I love to go to Cracker Barrel. I love Cracker Barrel. And their trees are just packed full of ornaments. Or if you go to a
Mhm.
store, they're just packed full of ornaments. So I just love ornaments.
So then what do you typically use, like, for a tree topper?
So every tree is different. Some of them don't have one. You'll notice this tree behind me does not have a topper. I started out thinking that every tree had to have a topper, but I
Mhm.
I kind of have transitioned into it sometimes can take away from the fact that it's a Christmas tree. So not every tree in my house has a topper. In my kitchen, it has it's like an elf hat, but it's made to be a tree topper. But my living room tree does not have a topper on it right now. And actually, in my daughter's room on her Grinch tree, I bought her a Grinch beanie, and I was like,
Cute.
well, while she's not wearing it, that's going to be her tree topper, and then she can just pull it off the tree if she wants to wear it. So I just get creative.
And that's the
I
best
think I
part.
used a beanie in our bedroom tree last year because, like I said, we did the Yellowstone theme, and so I had a beanie that I had bought in Yellowstone. So I just stuck that right on the top of the tree. There are no rules when it comes to Christmas.
Yeah,
No
that's
rules.
good. Yeah, I remember like my mom, she had a really cute little tree and it was all decorated like country, like cowboy, because that's just their thing and it was so cute and it had so many fun ornaments on it and it had like a cowboy hat as like the topper. I loved it. I thought it was
I
so
love it.
sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and Brittany, we go back and forth every year, like whether or not to do a topper. But I think it's because, like, honestly, like I always grew up having one. But you're so right, because even now that I look at my tree and it's not decorated yet, I just don't know that it would look like a Christmas tree if I did put something on the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, you may one year you may have a topper, the next year you may not.
Yeah.
I will say something funny about a topper. When I was little, my granny used to have this hideous angel. She was not pretty. She was not a pretty angel for the top of the tree. She was so hideous. And I used to hide her. So I would hide her in the back of the tree because I did not want to use her. And my granny had another topper that we could use instead. So I knew if she didn't see it, you know, then she'd be fine using the other topper. So I would hide it. So now it's kind of a tradition. I actually still have that angel on the back of the tree. Like I intentionally put her on the back of my tree just because, you know, I just think it's funny. It reminds me of her when I put her, you know, hide that on the back of the tree. But yeah.
I love it. She may not be on the top, but she's in the tree somewhere.
She's there. She's there.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So, are there any items that people may be surprised by that you decorate with?
Well, I mean, definitely, like I said, with the ornaments and stuff on my tree,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I said, it's oh, I even have a tape. When when I was little, we used to listen to this tape on our way to Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. And it was Smoky Mountain Christmas. I will never forget the name of the tape. And so I still have that. And so I literally stick that on my tree every year because I love it.
That's
and
cute.
I don't really know what else to do with it, but I want to be able to see it every year. So yeah, my tree is full of a bunch of random things. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the world that decorates their tree like I do. It is very strange, but I love it.
You're gonna have to like send me a picture of this tree because I want to see it. I think it sounds incredible. Because didn't you say too that you put a mug from Silver Dollar City on there? That's awesome. Yeah. Now that's part of y'all's tradition, right?
Yes. Yeah, we go every year. We've done it since I was a kid. So I mean I have memories going with my brother and my mom and my grandparents, and then as I got older with my own family, you know, and so many memories there. But yeah, I've started putting one of our Silver Dollar City mugs on the tree because now with the new mugs they expire after a year, and so we have some of the expired mugs, and I didn't want to get rid of them. You know, they have Christmas themed on them, and they remind me of Silver Dollar City. So yeah, stuck those on the tree too.
So then, do you still have like the mugs that haven't retired?
I have the good mugs. I have two.
That's awesome.
Yes. So they were my granny's, and now we can get like their loaded hot chocolates for 80 cents.
What?
Using those mugs. Yes. And for like everybody else, they're like $4. So
yeah, that's amazing. That's worth it.
Yes.
Now they do have
they're like fading and everything. One of them it doesn't even have any writing on it anymore, but because of the style of the mug, they know it's a Silver Dollar City mug. So yeah.
So you can still use it. That's incredible. That's awesome. Yeah, I've tried looking at Goodwill for some
to find a mug.
I have not, but I've tried. I always just get, you know, the one that comes out every year, but you know, and me and Britt will just share, but I do love going there for Christmas.
Like eBay, but they're like $300 or something on eBay. Yeah.
No one is spending that. Well, I'm not spending that.
You can just borrow mine.
I do. I love that. I love going to Silver Dollar City at Christmas. It is so beautiful, and they always do a phenomenal job. Like,
Yeah, you can't really explain it to somebody who's never been at Christmas time. Like, you know, I the best way I could explain it would be like the perfect Hallmark movie. I mean, even in Hallmark movies, it doesn't do it justice. Like, it is so magical.
and very
I love it.
bright.
Yeah, I love it.
It's just, yeah, it's beautiful. I really do try to make it a point to go every year that I can, because it's just, I don't know. I feel like they do a better too every year. Like, it's, I don't know.
Yes, they do. I think one of my favorite, well, I have so many favorite things about Silver Dollar City during Christmas time. Their train ride is definitely one of my favorites. I love that, that they have the grandpa telling the story of Jesus being born and all of the music on it and everything. But one of the fun things I like is that they have the carolers that walk around singing, and they're dressed just like you would envision a caroler to be dressed. I think that's just so fun. Just they're walking around the streets just caroling.
And they
I
have
love
that
it.
amazing like Christmas store. Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah.
full
Oh
of
yeah. My husband knows. Don't even question it. Like he knows. Like I think there was maybe one year that he was like, "Do we really need any more ornaments?" And I just looked at him like, "Do you even know me? Do you even know me?"
We have
There
to stop here.
there is no such thing as too many ornaments. Don't ever say that to me again.
It is Terry's store, like Cracker
Yes.
Barrel. It is
Yes.
Terry's.
It is. It is.
So, besides like Hobby Lobby or the Christmas store, where are some other places that you may get some of your decor from?
So I like to shop at TJ Maxx. What I like about TJ Maxx is that you're not going to find like a whole bunch of one item. So they're going to have one or two of, a specific item. So I feel like you can get more unique pieces if you shop at TJ Maxx, and they have pretty good prices. So I do like to shop there. And honestly, Walmart has some really good Christmas decor now. There was a time when I didn't really care to shop at Walmart that much for decor. I mean, I'm so impressed with the decor I found at Walmart now. They've really stepped up their decor game. I'm impressed.
Dollar General too. They
I
are
love
getting
Dollar
up there.
General too. So every year I do a hot cocoa bar. Last year, and actually that was my biggest video on YouTube, was my hot cocoa bar from last year.
That's amazing.
I had all the things, everything you can think of. It was like a just diabetic nightmare, all of the things. But I found most of it at Dollar General. So I kind of scaled it back this year because I'm trying to watch my weight. But yeah, Dollar General has all, like, if you are wanting to do a hot cocoa bar, or, it's just like I think I did a baking station for fall, and I thought about doing the same for Christmas, but yeah, all the things Dollar General has, they have the best selection when it comes to that.
Yeah, so are there other, like, besides the Christmas trees, like, are there any other areas kind of like that, like you mentioned, like a hot cocoa bar or like a baking station, like that you have decorated in your home, or maybe you have in the past?
So, not necessarily a specific area, but I will tell you that whenever I decorate a room, it is not just a tree. So, I definitely do not do just a tree, other than in my son's room. He doesn't care to have all of the things, but every wall, every corner is going to have some form of Christmas. So I like there to be a lot of light. I love just the glow of Christmas lights. Like, that's probably my favorite thing about decorating for Christmas, is just all of the lights. So
That's awesome. So, what are some of your favorite Christmas traditions?
well, I'm going to try to not get all sappy with you, because I can cry really easy. I'm going to try not to do that. I have a ton from years past, when I still had a lot of family living. I had so many favorite traditions, but like we talked about Silver Dollar City, that's definitely at the top of my list. Hands down, Like, it doesn't feel like Christmas time to me until we have gone to Silver Dollar City. So we're actually going this coming weekend, like a week from today. Yes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's definitely up there. But I mean, I love all the things that you think of when you think of Christmas time. All the movies, watching all the traditional movies that you've seen
Yes.
100 times. The Santa Claus is one of my favorites. I
Mine
absolutely
too.
love. And I don't necessarily like 2 and 3, but the first Santa Claus, the original, is I love it so much. And baking cookies, and while we're on the subject of baking cookies, I also do not like it when people hate on you for not making homemade cookies.
Oh,
There is nothing wrong with
Yep.
buying the sugar cookies that are already made. You just pop them in the oven. They're so good and they're so cute. Like, I just bought some this past week that have the little elves on them.
Yep.
They're
The
so cute and they're
snowman
so good.
ones.
They're so good.
I saw those at Walmart. I just am more of a Nestle Toll House chocolate chip lovers cookie kind of gal.
Yeah.
But I do like the shapes. They're really cute.
Yeah, they're fun. So all the cookies, whether it's homemade or they're already ready at the store and you just pop them in the oven, you're still baking cookies, and
Exactly.
it is
Your
still
kids
so much
won't
fun.
care.
And no, they don't care. They don't care. They just want to eat it.
Yep.
No.
I love all of that. So then, would you say that The Santa Claus is your favorite Christmas movie?
Yes, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, I have several that I like, but if I had to pick a favorite, it was kind of a toss-up between that and Home Alone. I mean, you can't not love Home Alone.
There's so many good ones, and I love watching all the cheesy ones on Netflix too.
Now, my husband makes fun of me because every Hallmark movie is exactly the same. He can always call it out. He watches 2 minutes in the movie and he's like, well, it's a single dad or a single mom or whatever, or it's the city girl and the country guy.
Yep.
I love it. It's so fun. If it's cheesy, I love it.
That's awesome. I do too. I can't help it. Like, I really do. I love them as cheesy as they are. And I love the Santa Claus. And I love Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, me too. Well, while we're on this subject here. Okay, so I saw that there was going to be a Grinch 2. Did you know that?
Like with him in
it? That's what I thought, and I still think that. I'm not 100% sure. You're going to have to Google it and look. So I saw there's even a trailer. There's a YouTube trailer for the movie. And
is it real?
Yes. Yes.
Or is it fan-made?
I know. It had a release date of November 4th. So, and I thought it was going to be on Disney Plus. So I had this whole evening planned with my family where we, the kids love Mexican chicken. That's like their favorite thing to eat. So we're going to have Mexican chicken and we're going to bake cookies and we're going to watch this movie together. And then I went to find it and I couldn't find it. And so then when I looked on the internet, it said that it was going to be in theaters first. Well, it's not in theaters. So I have no idea where this movie is.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
I know.
I don't know either, but
so
I would love it.
You're going to have to let me know.
I will. That was like mine and my brother's tradition is every Christmas Eve, we would watch that movie together. And I loved it. And then we would pretend, to go to sleep, but we'd wake up and, we'd go in the living room and try searching for our presents. I am really bad about I hate waiting. I just want to know what I got. And so I'm like the world's worst. I remember one time my mom, we had a van and we were parked. I think she'd run in to go do something. And I crawled all the way to the back of the van and I started going through what she bought and I was looking at all the gifts. It's bad. It is horrible. I've been known to open up some of the, and tape them back down. It's really bad. I can't help myself. I love it. And I don't know. I don't care about being surprised. It doesn't bother me. Like, I just want to know. I hate waiting. And even now I'll ask Britnell, so what'd you get me? He's like, I'm not telling you, and you're not getting it ahead of time. Find somewhere like really good to hide it, or else I'm gonna find it because
Yeah.
I love to know. I don't know. It's just how I am. But I don't know. I love this season. I think it's so fun. And I love this conversation because I think it really is like a good reminder of, like you don't have to go out to make all these memories happen. Like you don't have to go spend a lot of money on, new decor. You can look at what you bought last year, and maybe even if you put
Yes.
it in a different area than you did the year before, it'll feel new to you. And just the fact that you haven't
Yes.
opened it in a year, it's going to feel new to you anyway. But
Well, I will tell you, I have probably about half of my trees were not purchased new. So even my big tree, I bought used on Facebook Marketplace.
oh yeah,
When
that's
we
a good
bought
idea.
this house, well, you can ask my husband. It was like we made an offer, and within an hour of our offer being accepted, I was already on Facebook Marketplace looking for a 12-foot tree because I'd always wanted one, but we never had ceilings that were tall enough. And but yeah, you don't have to buy a new tree. You can get a used tree if you can't afford a new tree, or you just don't want to spend it on a new tree. You can get a used tree. They have so many used trees that are. I actually got. I think it was this past year. I bought two. I did buy two at Goodwill. They were $5. So yeah, and they always have trees. Yeah, you do not have to buy a brand new big fancy tree. And I will say, if I did not decorate early, I would get a real tree.
We've done that one year.
Yeah, I've done it in the past, and I've considered doing a live tree, like maybe in the kitchen, or to where I still have one real tree in the house, because I do love the smell and the feel of a real tree. So,
Me
but you're
too.
right. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money to. Christmas is not about that. It's just not. So.
Nope. And it's all about the memories. And I think too, like it's kind of nice to also like do the same thing every year. Like that is a tradition in and of itself. Like, those ornaments that you can use time and time again, and that they really do become like truly like timeless pieces that, you and your family have made memories around. And I think that's really important.
I will say we recently actually had our first Christmas celebration of the year. My husband's cousin was in town from Germany.
Wow.
And obviously you don't just hop on over from Germany that easy. And so we wanted to be able to celebrate Christmas with her while she was in the country. So we did all the things. We had we had a ham, we had all of the Christmas things. We exchanged gifts with her, and I actually got some ornaments for us to make. So we all sat down at the kitchen table and made ornaments. So we each made an ornament for her to take home, so that she would have some ornaments, to take back with her. And I loved watching my, basically grown children make ornaments, and they had so much fun doing it. My son probably spent an hour on his ornament, all the detail on it. He made it was a Christmas tree, and he decorated it, and he put all of the lights, colored all the little multicolored lights on the tree and everything. But yeah, it was really fun to watch them really get involved with just, all the fun things of Christmas.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
it. So, let's talk a little bit about your YouTube channel, because I want people to, check it out, follow along, because you've posted some really cool things on there just for decor, especially for Christmas. So let them know where to find you, what type of content you share, all that.
So it is, I will say, when I started my channel, it was kind of all over the place of, well, I want to cover all of the things. I want to do all of the things. I've really kind of brought it back down to mostly decor, mainly because I love that, and that seems to be very popular among my subscribers. So I've kind of stuck with mostly decor. I will add, every now and then, I will add some, shopping hauls, or Every now and then I might do a day in the life video, like a vlog style video, especially during Christmas time,
Mm-hmm.
because that's fun, all the fun things you do in a day. But yeah, it's mainly decor. So it is Paradise Point with an actual point at the end of it. So Paradise Point was taken, so I had to add a point at the end of it.
Okay, that's
So,
good to know.
yes.
Well, I'm excited for people to hear this episode, and I hope that this just really encourages them as they are, breaking out their Christmas decor and spending time with family, and just reminding them about, what truly is important. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on and just share, about the things that you're passionate about during the holidays.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's been really fun talking about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of A Little Passionate. I hope that you found something that you can be a little passionate about too. And if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you can keep up with the next episode when it comes out. And if you haven't yet, will you pretty please leave a review? I would really appreciate it, and other listeners would too. Thank you so much.